before we get the music going and stuff like that again, we're going to do a quick recording on the best quote-unquote settings and tips, primarily for settings. So we're going to start with controls. Typically, I like to run with an inverted aim. Nah, I'm kidding. What if I did do the settings video and I had my aim on inverted? So, all right. Anyways, so I have vibration on, and honestly, that's a tip that, you know, some people turn it off, some people actually leave it on, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now why that's an important setting for me personally. Okay, because whenever I'm firing my double barrel, for example, based on muscle memory and stuff like that, I have the timing remembered in my head, how much time it is in between double barrel shots based on the vibration from my controller. And I use that muscle memory to spend the time in between reloading in order to take cover behind like a box or something like that. Whenever I'm crouched, I'll just go into crouch and I'll take cover behind a box real quick and I'll spin in a circle or whatever. And I know the perfect exact time to come out of cover because, like, based on that muscle memory, the vibration lets me know when it's time to go. So that's why I do have that on, and I don't ever plan on turning it off. So we're going to go down to the lock-on mode, which is the aim assist, and I have that set to wide. And the reason I have that set to wide is because whenever you're targeting people with like a repeater or a rifle at range, specifically like long range or even medium range for the most part, if you have it on the default, the default normal aim, it's actually only going to target people in like, you know, in somewhat of a tighter cone, you could say. But if you set it to wide aim, this is going to allow, you know, so imagine you're looking in that typical perspective cone from the normal aim, but once you switch it to wide aim, it's going to widen that viewpoint up, basically. And you're going to be able to start targeting people that are like way to the far left and right of you. But you have to be careful because this can get you in trouble when you're in close quarters combat on something like, you know, name your weapon, Lanik or whatever, because using wide aim can actually get you in trouble at times where you're meaning to target the person that's directly in front of you, but because of wide aim, it'll mess up and it'll target somebody that's in like the background, way off to the, you know, the area you don't want to shoot at, and then you'll get killed because of it. So wide aim is amazing, but you have to be careful with it at times. So then I have the aim assist. You know, it's always it's all the way maxed out. You know, I mean, it's an aim assist game, and I'm pretty sure that's how it comes by default for the most part. So you should definitely be on the strongest aim assist unless you plan on going to free aim completely. I have the lock-on mode for a mount or vehicle, which is while riding a horse. I also have that set to wide. The aim assist strength for a horse is also at max. Automatic pin switching. This is for whenever you're using the Lamat revolvers. If you, you know, if you run out of ammo on one of your ammunitions, like if you run out of shotgun shells or whatever, it'll automatically switch to the revolver and start firing those rounds, or vice versa. I don't use it because I don't like automatic switching because I like muscle memory better. I don't like automated stuff because it can get you into trouble. Third-person controls. I'm on standard FPS 2 because honestly, I got sick and tired of tapping X all the time. And with standard FPS 2, it actually frees up your mobility with your fingers and stuff like that. It allows you to control your joysticks and your camera view, and you can run everything more smoothly all simultaneously, like at the same time. So I'm on standard FPS for that reason. And I much prefer it right now for sure. So now we'll go down here to the sensitivities. My look sensitivity is maxed out. My aim sensitivity is maxed out as well. Now this is like sort of a personal preference thing why I have that. Some people that, you know, have it a little bit lower for whenever they're trying to like free aim somebody when they're in Slippery Bastard or somebody is coming against them or whatever. But I have this set to max because when I'm using Painted Black, if there's a Slippery Bastard rushing at me, I just wiggle my right joystick really quickly, and it makes my crosshairs go all over the place really fast, and I'm able to paint a target onto a Slippery Bastard like really quick and easily. and usually be able to kill them unless they're very good and fast. And then I have the aim, look, acceleration set to max as well, because as far as I know, and don't quote me on this, it increases your sensitivities for the most part. I have the aim and look dead zone set to 0. This can be confusing for some people. It would seem like it's a sensitivity that you would want to have like maxed out or whatever, but actually lowering the dead zone is going to make your sensitivities even even stronger. They're going to be more sensitive and and whatnot. So first person controls, I'm not going to go into that because I don't use first person for the most part. Let's see. Hold to run. I have it set to hold to run because I just like it better. I don't like toggle to run because honestly, if you have a crappy joystick, toggle to run is not going to work on you because it cancels whenever there's whenever it senses there's less pressure on your joystick, like as if you're like intentionally trying to slow down. It causes toggle to run to stop. So if your joystick is old or whatever, it's going to get confused and it's going to keep canceling the toggle, and it's not going to work for you. It doesn't work for me. It pisses me off all the time. So I have it on hold to run so that I can just hold the R1 whenever I get to my desired speed or whatever. I just hold it because that keeps it for the most part from like canceling the running speed, and that really bothers me a lot because this is holding to run is actually the only way that I'm ever able to use standard FPS 2, because if I used toggle to run, I would have to have like 4 or 5 different controllers in order to keep them working. Tap assist. This is a big one if you don't know about it, because this is actually talking about like whenever you're in a struggle with somebody, whenever they're choking you out or they're on top of you and they're trying to kill you by choking you, and you have to tap circle or whatever the button is to get them off of you. I think it's circle. Yeah, it's circle. So typically when you first start the game, this is off, I believe, and you have to tap circle really fast to beat the struggle. But huge tip right here, switch it to hold, and all you have to do is hold circle while you're struggling. So if anybody that doesn't know about this tackles you and they're trying to struggle against you and choke you out and they're tapping circle, 9 times out of 10 you're going to beat the struggle, because all you have to do is sit there and hold it, and it's working at like the max strength. So let's go out of there. Display settings. I have the colorblind mode set to this one right here because back before they changed the colors on teams and stuff like that, it was really hard to tell one team color from the other. So I have it set to this colorblind mode because it helps distinguish the teams from each other much easier. And if you notice, let's see, it just makes some of the colors a little bit brighter and stuff like that. So I have kill effects turned off. I don't even really know exactly what they do, but it might not suit my playstyle according to the top left. So I have it turned off. I don't care about kill effects. I don't care about extra graphics or whatever. So and then this is my HUD. Everything for the most part is turned off. Pretty much everything. And this is a big one right here. Big one. Weapon reticle. Whenever you come into the game, it's going to be set to simple. I believe it's set to simple, and that's the reticle that I prefer to stay on. And also a default size. I like this reticle the most because it just helps me personally with the bloom, the way that it works. I prefer this reticle. Some people prefer the dot, but I tried it out for a while and it didn't suit my play style. Let's see what we got here. Everything else is okay. Radar and blips. This is another big one for settings. So right now I have my radar set to regular, and that's just because I was in free roam and I didn't care about looking at it. But when you go into showdowns or whatever, if you're really trying to like be on top of your game and have a step ahead of some of the other players, you could set your radar to expanded, and this is going to make your radar much bigger. You can see a much broader area around you. You can see everything nice and clear. And then you're going to want to have your radar blip sizes and your map blip sizes both set to large as well, because that's just going to make the the blip of another player on your radar, it's going to make it much bigger and it's easier to see. And so I have it on large for that exact reason. Another thing we're going to go into real quick is the online overhead. This is really overpowered in free roam, especially because if you're aiming down sights through a scope on your sniper rifle, you're going to be able to see players like that you typically wouldn't be able to see. They would blend into the map and the environment because of like just being, it just looks like a body. But if you have the player overhead turned on, when you're aiming through a scope at somebody really far away, you might not even really be able to see their body, but you're going to be able to see the overhead name tag of the person you're looking for. It's going to be big and red. You're going to be able to see their huge name plastered everywhere. It makes it incredibly easy to spot people. And this does work in showdowns as well, you know, and it helps in showdowns and stuff like that. It just helps you kind of like, you know, see the player a little bit better and easier and quicker. And instead of having to make sure that you see the player, you're going to see that big red freaking name tag. And it's literally like a, you know, a red flag. So you can have that turned on. I have it turned off right now because of stream snipers and shit like that. And so I'm trying to keep everything low key. Horse overhead, I don't think that's really necessary for the most part. I have it turned off, but it might work similar to, you know, what I was just explaining. Posse name, I have that turned off as well. You could turn it on if you want. But that's all for the display settings. And let's see here. Oh, one more. Camera settings. The camera follow level. This actually can be overlooked by a lot of people, and it was overlooked by me for quite a while. If you know, all these settings right here, minimal, low, and high, none of them are going to be better than the other. The best that you can go with in this situation is off. It's going to give you, you know, it's going to give you much more control of your character and stuff like that, and it's gonna just help you have a smoother control of your character overall when it comes to like making quick movements and turns and stuff like that. So that's as far as the camera goes, the camera settings. This is the only important setting in here that I can mention to you because again, I don't play first person. Dynamic kill cams, these are just for story mode. So camera follow level, turn that to off and let me know what you think. And I believe that's just about it as far as the settings go. As far as the settings go, that's everything except for audio, which is, you know, whatever. If you're concerned with voice chat, you can actually turn this off now. This is a new setting, and it is a setting, so I might as well cover it in the video. You can turn this off now. You can turn this off. And if you don't have a microphone or whatever, you can set it to where it like automatically turns it off for you if your microphone's not connected. But typically, I just have it turned off all the way because I can't even talk to game chat, and it's usually toxic and annoying. So, anyways, that's going to cover the settings video. Okay, we have ultraviolence, kicking it in the private session. Oh, and again, if you have player overhead tag names turned off, like player names, like I was telling you, or if you have it turned on, look, even if I press down on the D-pad, it won't show me Ultra's name. That's why I have that turned off for like the stream snipers that are always following me and trying to like, you know, get through the people that are in my game and stuff like that. They'll try to find out who I'm playing with and sending them a friends request. But even if I'm spamming the down on the D-pad to see everybody's like, you know, information, it will not show his name. So that's cool to keep in mind. All right, that one's over with.